I think more on the simp side. Like they'll do anything to get a girl. I feel like, you know what it is? I feel like
you're saying the right thing right there.
Yeah, I feel like if a guy hasn't gotten much attention from a girl, once that one girl gives them attention, that he'll do whatever it takes to prolong it.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? My name is Shisha Zed. I am back in here with another No Cap show for you. We've got a new guest here joining us today. Welcome to the No Cap show, everybody, where people tell the biggest lies on YouTube. To our new guest, I'd like you to introduce yourself to the people. Let them know your name, your age, and where you're from.
Well, my name's Carolina. I am 23, and I'm from the Bay Area, so California.
Okay, the Bay.
The Bay Area. I know a lot of people say like, oh, Western girls. So I mean, you got a Western girl here from California.
How do you like it?
It's I grew up here in California, so you know it's starting to get pretty crowded up in here. Yeah.
So guys, today we're going to be reacting to another Freshandfit video called Redhead Girl Tried to Pull a Misogyny Card on Us. Now, have you heard of Freshandfit before? Are you familiar with their content, Carolina?
Yes, I watched their videos. Yes. Okay.
So the video pretty much starts out with this chick. Of course, she has red hair, right? She's a ginger. And she accuses the podcast of being misogynistic. And I believe what she specifically said was like misogyny undertones and overtones.
You don't want to say the words, which I understand because this is what your podcast like relies on. This is your whole basis of your podcast. You guys are like reframing misogynistic ideals for modern men to consume and be okay with. So, but that was my question. And if you guys didn't want to answer it, that's fine.
What was misogynist?
Yeah, can you tell us what was misogynistic about the podcast?
Please tell us.
You guys can just scroll through your Instagram page, you guys.
Can you tell us what was misogynistic?
Just one thing.
One thing?
Because that's a pretty serious claim.
It is.
That's a pretty
you guys have your preferences, and you guys have your preferences, which is fine, but there are definitely some misogynistic tendencies you guys have, especially throughout your Instagram page.
And then she goes on later on to like make more kind of like crazier accusations about like the type of content that they do on Freshandfit.
You guys definitely have those misogynistic tendencies, and I see it in your comments, girls, you know, going off in your comments, and it's just like, but I get it. This is the basis of your podcast. This is why guys watch your podcast. Your fan base is just like you guys, you know, a lot of the time, I'm sure. But I mean, it's interesting to hear, and I thank you for inviting me. And
all right,
you know,
so hold on, no.
Before we just kind of tackle different points of the video, I know you've already watched it, right? Yes. What did you think of the video overall?
The video was good. For me, it wasn't surprising. I think a lot of girls are like that. You know, they try to pinpoint small little things and turn it over into something big.
I agree with you.
It's like what would you call it?
Just kind of misrepresent something that's not really there. Misquoting.
Yeah, just to take out like the bad out of something that, yeah, how you're saying like that isn't there.
Here's what I remember that stood out to me right from the beginning, right? She said something about a video that Myron shared on the Freshandfit podcast. It was Myron talking, and he gave a situation. He says, hey, if you're dealing with a woman, right? And in the scenario he gave, I'm assuming you went out on a date with this woman, you took her out, you spent your time with her. On top of that, you spent your money with her, right? And you took her back to your spot. Now she's back at your spot. And a man's goal when he does that stuff and he's taking you back to the spot is he's trying to smash. You know, it's just a lot of women don't accept that, but men want to smash. We like sex a lot, right? And
I mean, us girls too.
Yeah. I mean, women act like they, you know, like when we say, oh yeah, we just want to smash, you're like, oh, that's so horrible. I know women are just like that too, but it's like it's wrong for a man to want sex a lot of times. But woman says it, it's like there's no problem with it, right? But anyways, scenario, you're back at the house with the girl, right? And you guys are having a good time. You obviously want sex. That's why you took her out. And if she says, you know what, I'm not feeling it, Myron says, Don't chase, replace.
Never, ever let a girl leverage bedroom fun against you to try to get some compliance. She's within her right to not give you the fun, but you're within your right to get the fun from somebody else. Don't be stupid. Don't chase, replace.
Right. He says, replace her with another girl. And the example that he gave on how to do this is, you know, walk out of the room and go on the phone and call up another girl. Mm-hmm. He didn't specifically say she hears you, but hey, if she does hear you, he said it's whatever. You come back and you say, hey, you know what? If you're not down, this is why, you know, I brought you here. Then you can leave. And redhead girl lost her shit. Right.
If you don't want to have sex with me, cool. It's in your right. You can leave if you want to. But guess what? I got my rights as well. I want to get laid. Hey, Susie, what's up? Come through.
Of course.
What's wrong with that?
So what is misogynistic about that video?
Of course, no. You have your right to whatever you want to do after that. But I'm saying, you don't see the part in the video where he's like, you said you have to manipulate the woman just because she play these mind games because she didn't want to have sex with you. Yeah, like give her anxiety, like literally give a woman anxiety because she doesn't. Yeah, because she doesn't want to have sex with you. You said it in the.
There's no manipulation
in the video. You just said it.
Yeah.
She can leave at any time. What do you say? Respect her boundaries. Yep. She can leave.
Did you not hear it? Did you not hear the video? He said
competition anxiety.
You have to create a competition anxiety. So you want to give a woman anxiety because she doesn't want to have sex with you? Come on.
Yeah. She just lost it. And she started talking about how, like, that's so terrible. You know, that's my body just because I don't want to give you my body. Now you're going to be manipulative and you're going to shame me. And I don't think it was warranted. First off, the misogyny call definitely wasn't warranted. That a lot of women use that word and they don't know that it means the hatred of women.
I want to clarify off of that actually, because I did have an idea of what that meant when I do watch like their videos, but after actually going through so many like definitions like online, because you can find so many definitions, but overall being a misogynist is basically meaning that you hold an opinion that has
no logic,
no reason behind it. But yet the girl, and I don't know if she stated her name in the video, but the redhead.
We're gonna call her.
We'll call her the redhead.
Redhead chick.
The red chick just try to like twist around different ways of saying certain things are misogynist when they're not, because they're giving valid reason as to why it is they dislike that.
Moving forward, you passed the first test of the No Cap show. You didn't lie. And so I appreciate that. The other thing I thought of in my mind is like, why is it so hard for women to see that specific situation from a male's perspective? For example, if somebody said a woman walked out on a date because the guy said he was going to pay for the meal and he didn't pay for the meal, everybody would be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You know, he took you out and he should have paid. You went there to get food and he told you he was going to do that. If you went there to have a nice dinner with the guy and he said, I'm not going to pay, and it was a terrible date, some women will leave on the date. You know what I mean? Women who never call the guy back, never give him another chance. What's so horrible? Why is it so hard for women to just accept that guys can be like, oh, you don't want to have sex? Then bye. Why is that so wrong for a lot of women?
Yeah, they can have boundaries as well, because I think we see that a lot in TV shows and in movies where the girl is always leaving during the date. Like you always catch her like excusing herself to the bathroom, and then she ends up like leaving through the bathroom window or something. So we always see that.
So here's my question to you, Carolina.
And the guy,
have you ever left a date?
Have I ever left a date?
Yeah.
No, I've never left a date, but I feel like I can't really speak on that because I've had I wouldn't really call them dates. I would call them like hangouts. So we both had like mutual interest to like hang out and do something. So therefore, like I had no reason to leave.
Got you.
But yeah, I've never left on a date or a hangout. Yeah.
Okay, but have you ever not called a guy back because the date was whack? And you just kind of got rid of him?
Yeah, I've done that.
there's nothing wrong with that.
completely like, what would they call it? They call it ghosting, like when you completely ghost somebody and then you just like stop responding to them, or like complete like.
I know you have. I know you have. Women do this all the time, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. But when a man says ghost that woman if she doesn't give you what you want, it's like women aren't used to hearing that. You know, they aren't used to like dating advice that actually works. Because here's the truth, man. Here's what's crazy about this. The thing that women find attractive, those qualities that women find attractive about men, a guy who will walk away and let you go, they don't like hearing that said out loud. Right? Women will say, for example, women will say, we like nice guys. We like a guy who's sweet. We like a guy who does everything, gets me flowers all the time, compliments me. We like a guy who spoils me every second he can get. That's not true. That's not what women usually like a lot of the times.
It's not true.
It's not. They're usually attracted to the type of guy that is acting more like Myron was telling men to act. But I feel like when women hear that said out loud, it's like they can't accept that that's what they really are attracted to. Those type of men who are leaders, they're usually disagreeable. They don't easily go along and get along. They usually have a goal in mind. If they don't get their goal, that's how they're successful, is that they have a goal in mind. If they don't get their goal, then they move to something else. Women like guys like that, you know? They're straight up. A lot of the times, personally myself, I wouldn't, if I was on a date like that, I would just ask the girl. I've done that before. Like if I felt like maybe I was being led on and things were going that way, I've done that before and been like, hey, you know what? I think I do it differently. I say, hey, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. And I mean, she knows that like I'm obviously not tired because, you know, I just like, we're just talking and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, oh, okay. So I should leave. I'm like, yeah, I should probably go home. You know, it's been a long day. And I should leave. And I just don't get emotionally attached. I'm just like, I don't care. I'm just like, all right, sounds good.
I don't know. It's kind of weird because how you're saying that it's okay for girls to do to say, you know, hey, I don't like this guy, so I'll ghost him, or I don't like this guy, so I'm gonna dip halfway through the date and just say that, you know, I gotta use the bathroom, right? And then they dip. But all of a sudden, like if a guy ends up putting up their boundaries of, hey, I no longer have interest in this girl, so let me go ahead and drop her. Or, hey, you know, I'm not having fun anymore. So can you leave? Like, you know, can you leave? I gotta go do other stuff. It's so weird to me to see girls have an issue with that, or try to turn that around and say that that's misogynist when it's not.
It's crazy. It's nuts, man. Here's another thing that women do, whether they'll admit it or not. They will go out on a date with the guy they know they're not going to fuck. But they know that he wants to smash. Obviously, they'll take a date because then maybe he's taking them to a really fancy restaurant. Don't do this. Never take a woman to a really nice place on the first date. Keep your investments low. That's what I say, right? But they'll take a woman to a really fancy place, and I've heard women have told me this myself. Oh, you know, I just hang out with them because, you know, it was fun, blah, blah, blah. But that's okay, right? Use leading a man on. To me, that's manipulation.
I can agree on that. Yeah. So like, I think it goes both ways with girls and guys. I mean, I've experienced that myself too. You know, you think that somebody's interested in you because they're putting so much time on you. Would that be, you know, hanging out with you, taking you out on dates? But then it's not the case. You know, they're just doing that to have like, I guess
to smash, basically.
I really don't know why girls do that. Like, why take somebody out if you have like no interest to take it any further than, you know, hanging out?
Free food. It's two things. It's two things.
To like pay for everything.
It's two things. It's free food and also attention and validation. Women like the thought of anybody wanting them. That's one thing. Doesn't matter if you're ugly, fat, Doesn't matter if you're tall, attractive, doesn't matter, old. Women love attention and validation. So the thought that anybody is going to plan a date and put aside money and invest money into a woman, women love that, right? Which is why it's really wise, because a lot of women are like this, right? And it's just the truth. They might think to themselves, oh yeah, I might want to do what this guy wants because I know he probably just wants to smash, doesn't want a relationship. I might want that too. But for some women, if you give them that validation, attention, shower them with gifts, and you give them too much of that, that's enough. They don't have to fuck you. You know what I mean? At that point, it's like, wow, he's giving me kind of, there's no point. Because part of a woman's fun, because sex is just so easy for women, part of a woman's fun is like, women like to sleep with men who are not easily thirsty, who are not easy to sleep with. You know what I mean? Men who have standards, who are not going to be like spoiling them and stuff like that. So yeah, they enjoy the validation and the attention. That's why they accept those dates and the free food and everything.
And I think it also, I don't know, I think with the majority that's true, but at least with me, like I think it's very disrespectful to waste someone's time. Like to waste somebody's time and then have them think that it's going somewhere when it's not going anywhere. And while doing that, I'm not sure, I think it really depends from person to person, but if they're putting all their attention on you and not giving anybody else their time, then they're missing out on other opportunities that they could have had if you had already said it from the beginning that you didn't have any intentions for it to go any further.
So I'll challenge your thought there, right? I think that it's all just a game. And when people hear that, they don't like it because it sounds like, oh, you're not taking it seriously. No. It's a game. Life is a game. Just like a lot of life is like this huge game of where you're trying to figure out how to be smarter, right? How to set yourself up better so things work out better. Let me explain. There's guys that get it and there's guys that don't. The guys that don't are simps, right? They got for free meals. They got for free gifts, attention. They're over there paying rent, bills, you know what I mean? Doing crazy shit out here and getting no pussy whatsoever, right? There's those guys. Then there's the guys that understand how the game works. Those guys, they're getting something for anything they're doing, down to if he's going to assist you with paying a bill. I know people say that's kind of like some trick stuff, but anyways, if it's going to assist you with that, down to just your time. For some men who understand game, you're not just going to hang out with them for free. You know, they expect if you're going to hang out that they're going to get something out of it. And that goes into relationships. Sim said get into relationships and they're getting the raw end of the stick. And men who understand how the game works and they know that like, hey, I need to make sure that like I'm not just giving this woman and not getting anything in return. She's not bringing any value to me. Same thing for women. Some women, you know, they understand that, you know, it's a transactional thing. What I mean is either you get it and you understand the game or you don't. Life is unfair. Some people will be out here who just never learn, and some women will be out here thinking it's hot girl summer for like 10 decades, giving their bodies to a bunch of different men, and they'll learn the hard way that like, hey, maybe I should have chilled earlier on so that I could get married. Some guys will be out here spending a bunch of money on women and going through crazy situations of women using them, and then they'll get to the point where they'll realize women ruined their life. If it wasn't earlier on, it was through a divorce where your wife got you for everything, the kids, the house, the car. And it's up to each person to apply accountability and self-control. For a man, that accountability comes from like, what do I need to do as a man to better myself so that I get the better end of the deal in life? So I'm not out here chasing ass, because guys that are out here just thirsty, chasing, and those are guys who don't provide any value, and women don't see value in them, right? A woman needs to realize, like, what does a man want? What do I have to do within myself to not attract jerks? You know, am I wifey material if I'm looking to get married? So I think it's just like this huge game, man. And eventually some people figure it out. Some people don't, and they just get burnt.
Well, I think it definitely helps with being able to, how they were saying, like they give out so many pointers, but these girls, they try to like turn it around into something else that it's not.
$50. Guys, this is classic narcissism. Pay attention. Avoid women like this. She's very smart and manipulative, particularly with language. Yep, that's what I'm saying. No offense to you, but that's what I've been saying. Tell us how we've been misogynistic or how we've been raping.
I did.
And it was not
No,
substantiated
I wasn't
at all.
saying you're being rapey. I said, like I said, your content in that video could give rise to men using like and doing, you know.
I mean, we could
things.
speculate all day. Like we can say that, you know.
It's just my opinion. I mean, I'm here on the podcast to give my opinion, right?
But what it is that their advice that they are giving to these guys, I would say for me as a girl, is definitely so true. To be able to put up boundaries, have self-respect, save your time, and doing those things, you'll be able to maybe eventually find someone, you know, for long term.
Yeah, and let's be honest here. They're not looking for long term. They're trying to smash, and yeah, they're trying to smash as much as possible, because here's the truth: guys aren't getting sex out here. I don't think women understand this. The guys that he's talking to are not getting women. For a woman, it's crazy because women think to themselves, wow, guys are such dogs. Because you guys deal, most women deal with like the top 20% of guys. So they confuse those top 20% with guys who are just out here smashing left and right. They've got hella game. No. Something crazy like 40% of men won't produce in this country, like won't have kids, right? Meaning they're not very desirable to women. They don't see them as people who they want to procreate with. That number has gotten larger over time because men have become more simp-like, right? They're these guys who he's talking to, these guys are not getting anything at all. So I just want to be clear that these guys aren't looking for a relation. They're trying to smash. And the advice that he's giving them is to help them and say, hey man, maybe, you know, you could, some of them might be virgins, right? And they're trying to figure this thing out. It's not easy. And you got to put yourself in the worst case possible scenario. These guys, when they get a whiff of a woman, it's like they want to hold on to it. You know what I mean? Because maybe they've never, you know, had that opportunity. So it has to put into perspective. Or maybe there's guys out there that are getting women and they are smashing and they want to just improve their options. I heard a recent statistic. It was like there are more virgin boys 25 and under today than virgin girls.
Okay.
So
it seems about true.
Yeah. And it makes sense, you know. So these real problems are like, hey, guys are like, we want to know how to get a woman and seduce her because they're just not fucking. It's just not happening. To women, they don't see it because they're like, I can walk outside and get anybody. And the guys I deal with, they're smashing. You get what I mean?
It's so, I don't know, it's so strange because maybe it really just depends from person to person, but I feel also like within that age gap, because I feel as people get older, they're more open to, you know, doing like one night stands, or, you know, how you're saying, just to go on a date and then later on, you know, have sex. And then there's people, I would say, that are in that younger age where I guess they feel the need to, you know, if you're taking me out on a date, it has to be multiple dates in order for them to get the sex. And even then, sometimes it's hard to play that game because then you don't know whether or not at the end you're going to get it or not, because the girl can easily just drop you like that. So
this is the advice I give: 3 dates maximum. Now, if you're looking for, if you're in a place where you're looking for a long-term relationship, then you can give more leeway to that. But if your goal is to smash, 3 dates maximum. A woman by the 3rd date usually knows by then whether she's going to give it up to you or not.
I'd agree on that. Like by the 3rd date, yeah, because it shouldn't take any longer. I shouldn't have to take it's like 10 to 20 dates in order to, you know, to be able to smash, because that's a very long time.
Yeah, and if it's taken longer than that, that means the girl is like unsure, especially if that's what you want. Now, if you're looking for like long term, then yeah, you could be a little bit more loose with it and like take your time and whatever. You're looking for other qualities other than that. But if you're just trying to smash, like which it happens second night for some of them, first for a lot of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wanted to speak on, because when they were talking about, I know, because she had an issue with when they were saying, if there's a girl that you're with and she takes you all the way home, but then yet she still doesn't want to, be physically active with you, or have sex, then you should kick her out, or call up another girl that's gonna come through. She mentioned that was a misogynist, which it isn't, because again there's reason behind it. But along with that, I think what they were really trying to say, it's because they were using the wrong word. It's not really misogynist. I guess to them, it would be disrespectful to call up another girl like right in front of the person that you're having a date with.
Other girls want guys that other women want to be with. So if I call another girl and she feels competition anxiety, it's not my fault that she feels that way. I'm doing what I'm going to do. How she feels is irrelevant to me.
Right. It's fine that that you do tell her, hey, I'm looking for like a hookup or whatever. So like, it's fine. Like I can have somebody over, but to actually call somebody in front, like that's kind of like, it's like a little disrespectful.
Lame.
It's
Yeah,
disrespectful.
very
Hold
lame.
on. No. It's disrespectful that she doesn't want to have sex.
It's disrespectful that a woman
Yes,
doesn't want to have sex.
Disrespectful
because
to who though? To
okay,
you?
it's disrespectful because
Or-
I've spent my time hanging out with this woman and she doesn't want to have sex.
So for me, I don't think it's disrespectful, because at the same time, the girl already knows that there is intentions for that. If you're going all the way to his apartment or to his house, and then it's on the girl that she's being disrespectful by wasting his time and making him think that, you have me in your house now, so maybe something's gonna happen. But really,
This is true. Women know this stuff. Women know that if they go to your house, you're gonna expect sex. So that's why they'll avoid.
Yeah, it's kind of like pretty common sense.
It's common sense. Women know the way men think. This is not some like, oh my gosh, I thought I was. This is
yeah,
what
like I thought we were just
This
gonna
is what
chill.
they'll do.
No.
When you want to actually like transition to your place with the girl and you want to do it in a smooth way, you do have to always give disclaimers. Why? Because just the way women work, you can't be direct, right? You have to say something like, oh, I've got a really cool fish tank on my spot. I want you to come check it out. Oh, I've got some wine over at the house. Oh, I've got some, some books. I want you to go check it out. What you can't say is, oh, you want to go fuck at my spot after this? She'll be like, no.
Good.
But when you do say, I want to show you something at my house, women know, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying to smash right now. So that girl is, if you're taking yourself to a man's house, you knew going there that you weren't going to give it to him. We both know how this thing works. So you can't fool people that know game, right? We know. A guy that doesn't know how it works, he'll come there, well, maybe she just wanted to come over here and hang out, bro. And just, sleep over. Maybe she's tired. Nah. No. When a girl brings herself over, a lot of times they know what you want. They understand men. They know how they think. So that's why the disrespectful thing doesn't matter, because you brought yourself over to a man's house. How men, you know men want it. That's just what it is,
Yeah. She was going off on specific phrasing that I guess Myron used, the guy on the podcast, and she kind of like twists it around, because
you're talking about when she said, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about when you said put her in her place.
Yeah, put her in her place. Yeah,
Yes.
the put her in her place thing. She kind of went like, it ticked in her head, and she went completely off on it, because I don't know why, but when I heard it, I kind of interpreted it a different way, just of him saying like put her in her place, basically meaning that hey, let her know that you have boundaries. Let her know.
But here's the thing. He actually didn't say that. Like, remember, towards the end of that video, they play it. They play what he said. He never said put her in her place.
Women are these beings that need to be submissive, that need to be taught to like be put into their place if they don't want to have sex with you.
Pause.
Like,
Play the video one more time, Chris, because I didn't hear it.
Where did I say put her in her place if she has to have sex with you?
Play the video one more time, please.
Yeah, like, nah,
I did not hear
go all the way with this.
none of that.
If you're gonna make claims like this, you gotta back it up all the way, man.
Oh yeah, he doesn't.
Yes, she made that up herself. That chick is crazy, man.
Yeah, he doesn't say it in the video.
Yeah, he never said
he does not say it in the video. Yeah.
And she's over there making it up in her head, saying, oh yeah, you said put her in her place. He specifically said, guys, she has the right to turn you down for sex, but you also have the right to replace her.
Yeah.
He said, respect her choice, but don't chase, replace. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. And then she started talking about like the grapey stuff, like, oh yeah, it sounds grapey. I was like, come on.
Yeah, so she ended up saying that the way that their podcast says things and the way they project things to guys can be grapey, and I was just like so confused as to how it is that popped out of her head, because they continuously argued back, saying that no, the meaning behind our context is that hey, guys can have boundaries as well. So if a girl, if the girl's not going to give you sex, hey, it's completely fine to kick her out and no longer give her attention.
And here's the truth, from your experience and just like what you know about guys. Do most guys lean towards the simp side? Like, do most guys think like the way he's teaching, or do you think they lean towards the simp side? Or is it like guys that have game with the most guys you come in contact with?
I think more on the simp side. Like, they'll do anything to get a girl. I feel like, you know what it is? I feel like
you're saying the right thing right there.
Yeah, I feel like if a guy hasn't gotten much attention from a girl, once that one girl gives him attention, that he'll do whatever it takes to prolong it as long as possible to have her attention, with potentially getting the sex at the end. I think that's what it is for those guys who
and as a woman, I know this is coming from like your experience too. Like the guys will just, if they feel like they have a chance, they'll just start acting desperate, needy. The last thing you think they do is kick you out.
Yeah. Because
they don't want to upset you. They don't want to get you mad. Women know this, man. With this type of game, it's turning things upside down. You know what I mean? But you see, most guys, what women are afraid of, it's like, wow, guys are just going to turn into such assholes. Here's the truth. Most guys aren't going to do this because it's hard. Because she might say no. You may never see her again. And as a man, as an alpha, instead of a beta, when I say alpha, I'm talking about in relation to women, you have to be okay with being alone and being able to say no, right? There is strength in being able to say no and be okay with it. But like you said, a lot of guys, they're just like desperate. A woman
once they get that attention, they're like, oh, I got to hold on to it. Like, let me not let me try to keep her attention as long as possible. Yeah.
And it turns a woman off.
What do you mean?
A guy who she can tell is like desperate for her attention turns her off, because she wants to know that she's not the focus.
He has other options.
That he has other options. Exactly.
That's true.
Exactly. Yeah. Good stuff, man. We're talking some facts on here. We're talking some facts on the No Cap Show, man. Yeah.
Well, that's true. I mean, it's so weird. It's so weird to me. I don't know. Again, as I said, maybe it has to do with age. However, a lot of girls here on the Fret and Fish podcast, there's different ages. I've seen different ages on there. Some older women, some women my age. So I don't think it has to do with age. Girls aren't used to guys having, I guess, self-respect for themselves, having to respect their time and knowing what it is that they want and don't want, and And once they realize that, then they're gonna know like, hey, it's gonna start shortening like how many like dates that they start getting, like if guys start to do that. So I think that's what scares them. Like, you know, what if guys start doing that, then we're gonna have a problem because now I'm not gonna be able to, you know, leverage their end.
And I think you're right there. I think you're onto something. The other thing I think it is too is they know they won't be able to manipulate men. Because you got to think about it this way: if you know what a man wants, now you can use it against him. You know what he wants, so he knows if you're mad and you like move, or you know, you walk out, storm out. He's thinking, oh shoot, now she's not gonna let me smash. Now she's gone. Maybe she's out there smashing somebody else. As a guy, you got to train yourself to not care about that so much. A man who values pussy is somebody who is weak. Why? Because when a woman realizes like, wow, I can control this guy with what he wants, now she has the leverage and the power.
Yeah.
But if she realizes that you're okay, like, hey, if you're gonna leave, leave. I'm okay with that. Now she realizes like, wow, this thing that I use all the time to like, you know, trick guys or get my way and manipulate them, I can't use it anymore.
Use it anymore. Yeah.
It's like new.
That's what scares them. So that scares a lot of girls because now since they lose the leverage and guys now have the leverage, that now that they can't leverage guys anymore with the sex. So now girls have to work to get a guy, which they're not used to. So, yeah, so now girls have to figure it out themselves. Okay, so
Preach.
Now how do I get a guy, right? Now how do I get a guy to like me or take me out on a date or to spend money on me, right? What is it that you, and I think they talk a lot about this on their podcast, what is it that a girl provides?
Brings to the table.
Yeah, brings to the table, provides in a relationship. And a lot of girls struggle with that. And I think that insecurity in a relationship, not knowing what it is you bring, scares a lot of girls. Because now since they have to work to get a guy's attention or to get into a relationship, they are now actually trying to figure themselves out because now they have to figure out, okay, what do I bring to the table?
Yeah, when they deal with the guy who is not just going to accept, hi, I'm pretty, and that's all I bring to the table, like, and I am the table. No, that's bullshit. He wants some actual, tangible things. When they deal with that guy, they don't know what to do, man. They don't. They just get upset, and they want to call you misogynistic. You say, oh yeah, I need you to be more than pretty. Maybe you can like make me a sandwich once in a while. They'll be like, oh my gosh, you're such a, you know, they'll call you misogynistic or whatever, man. It's crazy stuff. So I'm getting the feeling here that there's not a whole lot we'll probably disagree on. I'm curious, what was it like listening to Fresh and Fit the first time you kind of stumbled on their content?
The first time I was watching one, I forget which one it was, but I think it had to do with the OnlyFans girl.
Yeah.
Like, she was being like really rude on the show, at least I think. And it just really surprised me how open girls are with
was it the one with Kevin Samuels?
Like, spitting out things out of their mouth without actually like pausing for a second and then thinking about it first, but they just go off. I like so embarrassed to be a girl and watching these girls represent like I guess the majority of us.
Was the feminist one that you saw, was it the one with Kevin Samuels or
no, I think it was just all girls, and I think she was blonde and she had an old. Yeah,
that's the one with the Hafiz.
But I think Kevin Samuels ended up going for on the second one, and they brought the same girls. I think. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. And
they like walked away or some stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. She got so embarrassed that she walked out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They were mad. They were mad because you know they can't. See, when Kevin comes on the scene, it changes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the last point I'd like to make is towards the end of the video. Midsection towards the end, Myron makes a point where he says women cannot be leaders. Now, I don't remember exactly how he said it, but I believe it was that women can't lead, right? I'm sure I'm pretty close. And they argued that and said women can lead, which I understand what they mean. But here's the truth. whenever we do see women lead, a lot of the times they don't lead well in the context of relationships, right? Why? Because a lot of women tend to be attracted to alpha type men. And what I mean is not a particular type of guy, but what I mean is to her, she sees him as alpha. She sees him as her leader. Those are usually the type of relationships where a woman is the most happiest. She feels the most secure. She's complaining once in a while, right? Because maybe you have high standards and expect a lot from her, but she's not complaining as much as when she's with the simp and she's saying you're lazy, you're not ambitious, you don't do anything around here, I do everything. With that guy, she's miserable. She's leading with that guy. And usually that relationship tanks. And that's the majority of men, as we discussed earlier, you said the majority of men you feel like lean towards the simp side. Today, majority of men are simps. And what happens to those relationships? Where a guy's a simp, he gets married to a lady who is more, has more leadership qualities than he has, right? A lot of women today, they're strong and independent, and the men are simps. And what happens? Women divorce. We see initiation from women's part of like a 70% divorce rate, where women are initiating 70% of the divorces. That's what happens when women lead relationships. Kevin Samuels says something that I always remember. He says, pressure was made for shoulders, not hips, right? Hips were made for other things, like bringing life into this world, right? And it doesn't mean that they're not important, because life is an important thing. But women have lost their natural role when it comes to relationships. Pressure is not made for hips, it's made for shoulders. So when you try to take that pressure on your shoulders, you will end up blaming the man and also leaving the man. That's what happens the majority of times when a woman leads. Can she lead? Yes, she can lead you to destruction and divorce.
I think I can agree on that. I think that girls are very sensitive and emotional, that they therefore can't hold leadership, and those are facts. Those are facts that, you know, we're very emotional and we act on our emotions, and that plays a big role in whether or not you can lead or not lead. And how you were saying that a lot of women that are in relationships where they take the lead, those end up not being anything at the end, because they end up getting emotional because the guy isn't doing anything, and then it takes effect to them that, hey, like, oh shit, you know, like, I'm doing everything in this relationship. Why is that?
Hey guys, if you guys enjoyed this video and want to do some amazing things for my channel, go ahead and hit that like button down below. It does great things for my channel. And Carolina, thank you so much for joining us. And if you guys want to drop a comment down below and let us know what you thought of the topic, it's greatly appreciated. I stay in the comment section, I respond. Also, don't forget to check out my Patreon down below in the description, and the Alpha Mentality t-shirts. Hey guys, my name is Shisha Zed. I'm out. Peace.